Forget about me. Forget about Lee. All right.
Just carry on. You just talk, Sid.
Hi, everyone. Alongside the man, the myth, the legend. You know him as Lee Priest.
Sid, I'm showing the watches.
What? Can I talk now, or?
Okay,
All
on.
right. Well, we have to go back into the voice, right?
Yes.
So, Lee,
I didn't recognize you.
you flew in all the way from Australia. How was the flight, mate?
Well, let me tell you, Sid, the flight was very good. It was a long flight, as you know, from Australia. But yes, now that we've got our Expo voice on, I'm really happy to be here.
How was the in-flight meals?
Actually, I do enjoy plane food, so... What's wrong? Why do people... I enjoy hospital food, so...
It's a man of simple pleasures.
I am.
We took Lee
I'm a friend of yours.
We took Lee yesterday to the Dragon's Lair gym, Flex Lewis's gym.
Strip club.
Yes, we cannot talk about what went on inside the gym.
Gay strip club. Couldn't get Sid out of the place.
We swore we would not talk about the Lion's Den.
We said what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We haven't left Vegas, so we can talk about it while we're here still. No one's listening.
Absolutely nobody's listening. They said that we were going to go to the Dragon's Den, but we ended up going to the Lion's Den. Little did we know what was there for us waiting in the den.
Oh, some sexy lingerie. Sid got a few, let me just say, Sid's wife, she's going to be happy at Christmas. Few sex toys.
It was not cheap.
No. A pair of dumbbells would have been cheaper, Sid, but Sid goes, no, we're going to get this one, 12 inches, blah, blah, blah.
Who was measuring?
I was. I always do. Seriously, Sid.
Okay, so seriously, let's talk. Obviously, yesterday you got into town. What did you think of Flex Lewis's gym? Got a chance to talk to Flex Lewis, go around his new facility.
Very nice, Jim. You know, what him and his wife and his team's done with the place is great, and it's good to see, because, I was back in the day of where Gold's Gym was the Mecca in Venice Beach, and it was either World Gym or Gold's, and then Powerhouse was there for a while, so it was good to see them back here. When I used to compete, it was Gold's on Flamingo, so it's good to see that there's a couple of gyms around. This morning I went down to Fit Club Las Vegas, and we had a picture of me and Tom Platz up on the wall, and it's a beautiful gym as well, so a lot of people I think are going between Flex's gym and that gym, so yeah, but Flex's last night, if you went there to train, it was like a madhouse, wasn't it? So you'd have to almost take a number before you could actually get to train, but great atmosphere though.
I have to ask, because obviously you are so synonymous with that Gold's Gym, lore, and then when you look at what's happening here in Las Vegas, in front of your eyes, do you see the new Mecca developing here in Las Vegas?
I do, because you see, like I said, it's bringing a lot of people there, people that are keen to train. You get the hardcore people that are there to train, then you get the fuckwits with their tripods, so you get the best of both worlds.
Talk to us about here.
Right away, Sid has a tripod, so when I say fuckwits with tripods.
We swore we would not talk about the tripod.
No, we're not talking about that one, we're talking about fucking that one. Yeah.
You're here at the S-Force booth.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit more about your work here with S-Force. Obviously, you want to show the watch. There we go. Which watch is this?
That's called my watch. So this is actually my favorite blue. This one might disappear by the end of the Expo. A few of these might not be here at the end of the Expo, yeah, but I'm linking back up with them, going to have talks, and so next year or towards the end of this year, there'll be a Lee Priest edition. See that little hand that goes around the middle? It's going to be my finger ticking, so every 12 o'clock.
So now, is that going to be on the dial, or are you literally going to have a miniature watch made for your middle finger?
No, it's going to be on the dial. No, it's not really, but we will talk about maybe a Lee Priest special edition. And when I say special, it'll probably be like a retarded watch.
Let's talk about obvious.
That word retarded, I think you can.
We're going to be canceled anyway, so might as well go down hard.
So how was your last Expo, Sid, at the Olympia?
It's been fun, Lee. Let's talk a little bit more about your face tattoo, and the reason I bring it up is because, obviously, yeah, eventually, don't notice it. But, one of the biggest talking points from this week, obviously you came on After Hours, and look, you let loose, because you got all sorts of feedback, and then just some feedback where you wanted to make it a point to just say that, look, the hell with others' opinions. This is your life. You're going to live it the way that you want to live it. Talk about the decision, obviously, to get the tattoo, and then your response to those that have criticisms about it.
Well, I've always wanted one. I wanted one back even before Tyson had his, because being from Australia, I had New Zealand friends, Maoris that had them, and I always liked them. And to me, being a bodybuilder, it's not a job where I can walk into the office and they say, excuse me, you have to leave, you got a face tattoo. So I even think today if you did that, you could probably get discrimination. So I've always wanted one. Then Tyson got his, I said I won't get one. Then I did get one. Oh, you're trying to be like Tyson. And I had it for 13, 14 years. I just got bored of looking at it. I kept adding to it. I got rid of it, and my wife and mother were the most upset I got rid of it, because it's like anything, it becomes part of you, and they used to see me with it. So for 4 years I went without it. I always said if I saw something I liked, I would do it. Then I got that stupid Lensa app, and it started putting tattoos on my face. I'm like, well, that one looks okay. I sort of got to add more shading to this, but only because I had it done Monday. I didn't want to go too crazy, so my face would be out here. So a little bit more shading, but I didn't tell my mum I was doing it. I sent her a picture. Her reply was, wow, I love it. So, and then my wife, she's like, oh, I met you and I fell in love when you had Lon. So she's like, oh, the old Lee's back. So yeah, they're the only people I have to please. Other people, like, I've never been one of those where we see it in this industry, any industry, where people act a certain way to fit in with certain groups. And look, I understand if you're in a professional setting at work, yes, you got to act professional. But I mean, outside of all of that, people who you just hang out with general, if they can't accept you for who you are, then they're not worth being your friends. Because I got friends that will be with this group of people when they're out, act a certain way. But then when they're with this group, they'll act a different way to fit in with them. But just be yourself. And like I said, if they can't accept you for being yourself, they're the wrong people to hang out with. That's why I'm always by myself.
So wait, let's rewind. So you're saying that the original inspiration behind the face tattoo was Mike Tyson?
No, I just had friends that were from New Zealand.
Oh.
So I liked all their type of things. But the reason I didn't get it was because Tyson got his. So I said if I get mine, they'll think I'm copying him. So I actually waited a couple of years, and as soon as I got it, you're copying Tyson.
Let's talk about this Olympia. Obviously, it's just universally assumed that a big Ramy is going to come in on. This is his show, and he's going to win his third handout. What do you make of that top tier of the open class this Olympia weekend?
Okay, well, let's just say Ramy's at his all-time best and he wins it. Then from second on down to eighth is anyone's. It's like there's been so many prediction shows, and even when you watch the prediction shows over the last probably a month and a half, every prediction always changes. So, Hardy could get second, even if, so let's just say Ramy's a little off. Hardy could win. Right. Bonac could win. Probably Nick could win. There's so many people.
Who do you like?
Who do I like?
Forget about placing, just who do you admire in that upper class?
Well, I like all of them because, because there's so many physiques that are also different. Ramy's different. Bonac I like because he's shorter and more compact, like similar to I was. And then Hardy's similar to that. But then you have Ian. I like his physique, and this year he looks better. But then I like Samson, who has great round muscles and nice shape. So I said everyone, there isn't one where, you might have had a few that might look the same, whereas I think everyone's got their own unique look. So I think for the judges, it's going to be hard on what are they going to go for the freaks? Are they going to go for the guys who are bigger with symmetry or whatever? So I think it's going to be, I think there'll be a lot of comparisons going on. What I hope there is, because, well, I hope they do, because I think if you've got a top six, we used to see it back in the day where the guy that comes sixth, he might never have got compared to the top three guys. And for you to be sixth place, if you're standing over here and the top three are here, you look totally different until you put them side by side. So whoever ends up in the top six, I hope they all get compared equally. So no one can say, well, he never got compared to him or he never got compared to him. So, but in the end, the guy that wins is going to be the happy one. Everyone else is going to be pissed off, and that'll be the end of it.
Finally, I know you got a long line of people waiting to take a picture with you. What's the cool thing from my vantage point? Obviously, we took you yesterday to the Dragon Slayer gym, and then we're seeing you here at the Olympia. I mean, you just get the idea that, you competed however many years ago, but, your fan base is still very vibrant.
Last show, I believe it was 06, so there's been a lot of guys who have probably gone since 06 and don't have a following, but I think that just comes back to me too, being a fuckwit and just being myself.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you I mean, when you think just as far as the reception you've gotten here in Vegas so far, here at the Olympia, and really everywhere you've gone in Vegas, what does that mean to you in terms of, you know, your relationship with the fans, and just your brand in bodybuilding today?
Well, I said, I've always, even though I was a pro bodybuilder and people go, you're a priest, I'm no different to anybody else. I love going to the gym, I love training like everyone else. Yes, I had a pro card, but like, whoopee fucking do. It's like, you get some pros with egos, I'm like, mate, you're a pro bodybuilder, calm the fuck down, doesn't make you any better. So it's like, you know, people look up to me, but see, I still don't understand that, because in my mind, I'm just Lee, you know. They're like, oh, but you're a pro bodybuilder. I'm like, what do you do for a living? You might be a plumber. Well, you're probably a fantastic plumber. I could never do that, so I'm on no different level to that guy or anybody else. So I think if you just be yourself, and like I said, don't try and be something you're not, don't have an ego, and just, I said, I think people can see through all the bullshit, so I haven't changed over all these years. You either like me or you don't like me, and like I said, I'm not going to act a certain way, you know. I've had sponsors, Lee, tone it down. I'm like, why? That wouldn't be me. And even when I was saying stuff back in the day, Lee, just bite your tongue, but that wouldn't be me. So I, you know, I do and say what I say, whatever comes with that consequences. I've always taken it, so I'm not going to change who I am. So, and like when I was with MuscleTech, and I used to say their products were shit, I'd get in trouble. So luckily, Dave, you don't have any shit products.
Yeah, Dave.
Or I would say they're shit. But actually, Fiberlize gives me the shits, but it's not a shit product.
Question on everyone's mind, where is Jimmy the Bull?
I just got a text from Jimmy. He has to work, he's not coming. He said, I'm the only one that can drive this truck and blah, blah, blah. Jimmy, he was upset. I said, Jimmy, I love you. I'm not mad. Fucking disappointed, but I'm not mad. I wouldn't be here. We planned this trip. You fucking, no, I'm not mad, Jimmy. He's working, driving that truck. I'm sure in after hours next week we're all going to hear about that fucking truck again. So yes, Jimmy's working. So I'm here alone. He stood me up at the fucking altar.
All right, Lee, you got a legion of fans over there. Go sign autographs, go take pictures. Thank you so much for the time. And now we're going to bring in Austin.
Don't give me fist pump when I got COVID.
All right, Austin, CEO of S-Force. S-Force exhibiting, what is it, for the first time since 2019?
Yeah, that's correct. I appreciate you coming out here, taking the time to interview me, and Lee as well. Look at this guy, I love this guy. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to interview us, and we really appreciate you.
It's been a resurgence for the brand. Talk to us about this comeback for S-Force.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, as everyone knows, during COVID, it was extremely hard for most businesses to go. Some because of the economic times, but for some, like us, since we manufacture and custom make every watch, it was a big hit to our business because our manufacturing facilities can only have a certain amount of people, and as you can expect, if you have less people working, those lead times get extended. So, unfortunately, and most watches like Rolex and some of those bigger things, people are used to waiting 1 to 3 to 5 years because it's so worth it. But for us, we went from delivering instantly to having a wait time of about 6 to 12 months. However, now that things are getting back to normal, the economy's booming again, and our manufacturers are back to full scale, we're able to cut that down and be able to ship watches immediately just like before. And in order to celebrate that coming back party and able to kind of showcase that, we brought Lee down.
I was going to ask you, talk to us about this relationship with Lee. Obviously, he has had a long-standing relationship with the brand, but what does Lee Priest mean to S-Force?
That is a great question, and as most people or fans of the brand know, Lee's been associated with S-Force since the inception. And when we make our watches, we make them for individuals like Lee, those individuals who are mentally tough, that you look up to, that you admire, that you respect, who stand out in society. When you look at all of our watches and anything that we showcase, it's about strength, it's about resilience. And an individual like Lee not only looks like that visually, but actually represent it in his character. And obviously, it's great to have, influencers, athletes out at the booth, but Lee is the type of individual that as soon as this expo's done, I'm gonna go have a drink with, I'm gonna go talk to, and I'm gonna hang out with. And Lee, I can't stress enough how thankful I am for him and also your guys' relationship as well.
Well, let's talk about some of the offerings that you have here. Again, you're talking to the bodybuilding audience here. What do you have here? What, I guess, you can showcase as one of the premier items in the S-Force collection?
That's a great question. So essentially, what we do is we want to style our customers in two ways. We want them to be able to wear a watch at all times, and we want them to be able to wear a watch when they go out, they go on a date, they go do something important, like business or something. So our watches, we have two types. We have watches with silicone bands.
The camera, yeah, there you go.
We got watches with silicone bands. These are,
put it up with the camera.
there we go, right there. These are the types of watches you're going to wear when you're hiking, you're working out, you're doing athletic things, when you're living a normal life. You got kids, you got family, anything, right? This is your everyday watch. But then we also wanted to be able to supply our customers watches for when they go out, for when they do something that's important to them. So we developed a line of watches for that special occasion. This one right here is called the Dark Knight. It is our absolute best seller, and as you can see, it's classy, but it has a big, bold design. It's actually made, a lot of the times, one of our #1 orders for this is grooms parties. They buy it for their groomsmen, business people, they buy it for their companies. So this is our #1 selling watch, and it is specifically designed to be worn out and shown off.
Very nice, very nice. What is next for this brand?
That's a great question. So S-Force has been around for a few years now, and with that, you always have to adapt. You have to take things to the next level. You have to evolve, right? All of us do. What we have in the works is a couple things. We're going to be strategically working with more bodybuilders, more MMA, UFC fighters, and more NFL athletes. That's step one. Is we want to bring that culture, and we want to associate S-Force with that. The second step to our plan is we're also going to adapt to modern times, modern technology. So we're going to be coming out with smartwatch cases that reflect the S-Force values, the look, the basically everything that S-Force stands for. We're going to bring it to the smartwatch technology. So you're going to be able to keep your Apple watches, you're going to be able to keep your Android watches, but you're going to be able to encase those smart devices with an S-Force case. So doesn't matter if you like smartwatches or you don't, you're going to be able to wear S-Force regardless.
Excellent stuff, innovative, stylistic, and creative. We love to see it. Austin from S-Force for RXMuscle.com. I'm Sadiq Faruqi.